Okay, so our problem is how to figure out how many pounds of planting supplies do the classrooms get. So we got to ask ourselves, are we splitting the 4 classrooms into 13 pounds of planting supplies? Or are we splitting the 13 pounds of planting supplies into 4 classrooms? What makes sense to cut up? Hopefully you're saying the 13 pounds of planting supplies and not the kids. All right, so here's my tape diagram all drawn out. And we said it makes sense to have 13 pounds to be split by the 4 classrooms. Okay, so there's my picture. Here's what the number sentence is saying. 13 divided by 4. And we have to first figure out what one classroom gets. Okay, so one classroom will get, if I change this into a fraction, 13/4. Okay, so I could leave it like that, but this is an improper fraction. So I'm going to go one more step and turn it into a mixed number. So 13/4. How many 4s are in 13? I could skip count 4, 8, 12 is pretty close. I'm going to go one more just in case. 16. Okay, that's too far. So 1, 2, 3. 3 whole groups of 4. And then, because that was 12, I have 1/4 left over. Okay, so one classroom, we get 3 1/4 pounds. Okay, so one class gets 3 1/4. Now remember, our unit we were measuring in is pounds. So I'm going to abbreviate it, LBS. One class gets 3 1/4 pounds to use. Okay. The second question, or the second part, is how much will 3 classes use altogether? Okay. So we can set that up a couple different ways. We could do 3 1/4 plus 3 1/4 plus 3 1/4. Okay, that's one way. We could use our improper fraction and do 13/4 plus 13/4. Boys and girls, I don't know how you write with one hand on the paper. This is very difficult. Plus 13/4. Okay. So I could add up all my whole numbers really easily, and I get 3, 6, 9. I get 9, and then 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Okay. If I did it all with improper fractions, I have to add 13 plus 13 plus 13. The denominator stays as 4. So this is 13, 26, 39. Okay. Which is the same as 9 3/4. Okay. If you wanted to try something to challenge yourself, you could do a multiplication sentence. Okay. Another piece of paper. So that would look like 3 times 3 1/4. Okay. Now, what we hadn't learned yet is that we can't just do 3 times 3. We're going to break apart the mixed number into its 2 pieces, 3 wholes and 1/4. So we could do this. We could do 3 times 3, math hugs there, plus 3 times the fraction piece of 1/4. Okay? So just like in whole number multiplication, we have to do our factor times each place value. So we have 3 times our ones, and then 3 times our fraction. Okay? So 3 times 3 is 9, plus, now we have talked about this. Whole numbers have a denominator of 1, so we would just multiply straight across. 3 times 1, 3. 1 times 4, 4. And we would get 9 3/4. Just like the answer in the other 2 strategies. Okay. I hope you found this not too hard today. Happy Thursday.